Go
say
ahead.
another thing I wanted to ask you about. I noticed that there's a reverse route button here, so you
Yep.
can generate the GPX file for going the opposite direction.
Yep.
Is there any way, though, while you're like from the Garmin or whatever, that you're, you have a route, but you want to follow it in reverse?
Yes.
Is there any way to do that without
Yes.
actually generating the route in reverse?
Yeah, back to start.
No.
The loop.
If you so the sort of answer is, if you're starting from the beginning and you want to ride the route in reverse,
Yeah.
Garmin doesn't actually have a feature to reverse the route, so to speak. The Wahoo computers do, if you have a
Okay.
Wahoo. But then I didn't hear who it was, but what somebody said, which is there is a back to start along the same route.
Right.
And so what you could do is, if you start riding the route in reverse and you go, I don't know, maybe 50 feet down the road, and then you hit in reverse, it should reverse the route.
Well, or won't just try to route you any way possible back to the start?
It says, do you want to go back the shortest possible way or the exact route that you came?
That's a fairly new Garmin feature, I think. I think they used to be only, they'd find the quickest way, but that's good to know.
But my one question is, when you say back the way you came, does it, if you have a route loaded, because I've never tried this, does it try and reverse the route, or does it say, oh, you came up this road, so we're just going to send you back? Like, let's say you deviate from your route. Does it send you back along the route, or does it send you back the way you actually came?
I think the latter, but I'm not sure.
Because if that's the case, then you can't actually reverse the entire route. Because if you went like 50 feet down the road in reverse and then hit reverse route, it just sends you 50 feet.
Yeah, you think it'd be a super easy thing to do, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it seems like you'd want it would make your device a lot more flexible.
Well, and that was one of the original kind of use cases that I had was, you get a GPX file from somebody else's ride log, and you just want to reverse it.
Out of the way.
Yeah, download the whole thing and just reverse it.
Well, I'll embarrass myself with a dumber question than that. If you take someone else's route that you didn't build at all or modify at all, and you go to the start, how do you know which way to go? I honestly, I don't know which way is the right way. Can you tell?
That
Happens to me too. I have to bike for like 5 minutes.
I have to pick a way and just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you, I'm sure you would you'd have loaded this and looked at it on a map and had a general idea beforehand, or no?
Maybe that's a good idea.
I'm gonna
quiet now.
I'm gonna
I told you it was a dumb question.
No,
that's
I'll
a good
give
idea, Paul. I think I'll do that.
I'll give a partial answer to the question. If you happen to be out on the road and not really able to do that, not with the Garmin though, but if you have the Ride with GPS app on your phone, when you load the route, it actually, on the route, it'll draw every mile or so. It just has a little directional arrow to tell you which way the route goes.
So you could just see it. Yeah. Okay.
So you can at least kind of say, oh, I'm supposed to go north, south, east, or west, or whatever first. But unfortunately, on the Garmin, my best method has been start riding, and if it tells you you're going the wrong way, turn around.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No big deal.
Okay, so that kind of covers a bunch of the control point stuff.
Yeah,
Again,
great.
put them in where you
helpful.
need them. Put them in where you need them. Take them out where you don't, and
Yes.
your life will be good.
Well, you've just explained the funky behavior, and of course, once you know, it's pretty obvious. But it's behaving oddly because it's just as you point out, it will go through the control point.
Exactly. So let me show you something here. Again, this is going to be a little more geared towards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out like it doesn't exist. Take out this Brocklebank section. This is a bunch of a good chunk of class 4 stuff here. So I'm going to delete the selection. I know that this goes up through here, and it goes up through here, and I know I've been told or I've seen that there's trails up here. So now what the fuck do you do? You could just start drawing, but that's not the greatest idea, because you get into the woods some places and there's logging roads and wood roads and all kinds of stuff. So this is I'll show you a couple ways around this. So I'm going to go, as you can see, my cycling folder is quite full. So let's go to, I use this thing a lot, this Strava heat map. I hate the interface. They got a long way to go on this, but.
Took forever to zoom in to where you want to go.
And the labels, labels, like you put the labels on, and what does it give me for labels? Oh, I'm sorry, the Bread Loaf Wilderness in like all of Vermont. Like I got to know this stuff, just kind of, let's see, where the hell am I here? Okay, I know the loop of Route 89 is here, and I got to start to get, log in, okay.
So Paul, this is logged in, but it's still the, is it still the free Strava, or is
This is the free Strava, yeah. You know what? I pay for Strava, so heat map. I'm not sure about heat map actually. I don't know what that.
It got a lot better when you logged in, it looked like. Or is that
Well,
just it was zoomed out?
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna find out where the hell
Can you turn on the map layer? As in layers label map labels satellite doesn't.
This is it.
Oh,
That's
it's useless.
That's their map layer. Yeah.
Oh, that's
it's,
awesome.
Wow.
It's freaking useless. So you know what I'm gonna
What
do?
about you can't click on the labels to see the route numbers or whatever?
That was
No.
the thing he clicked on before that added like 2
Yeah.
labels.
Until you get down to like the road, like it's okay. I know. Fortunately, I know Ducker Road. I'm generally in the right spot here. Lovers Lane, Howe Lane, Stratford. This is where we were headed over here. Brocklebank. There we go. So now I've got, using the Strava heat map, this Quarry Road, Brocklebank. So I can do a couple things. I can say, what I would do, I'd drop this down here and kind of just alt tab my way along, like, okay, where does this go? I might put the satellite on even to see, okay. And put this one in satellite. All right, there's this little L-shaped farm, kind of goes by that, and just kind of draw lines here and peck my way where I think this thing goes, follow it.
Wow.
And it usually works pretty good. Like, this is, but there is a lot of this stuff out there, like, especially again in the mountain biking and the class 4 stuff. Like this has been used quite a bit. I mean, this is a lot of riders on that.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you determine that this is a class 4 versus just a gravel road? How are you making that distinction? Just by through this not through the heat map, but are you zooming in on the satellite and?
Since you asked,
figure it out?
We'll go to the.
Sorry, that was always my.
And I'm going to send I'll send these links out later. So this is roads by classification. This is specifically for Vermont, which we obviously do a lot of our riding in, but South Royalton. So you've got class 4 legal trails and unpaved. So if you take out the unpaved, this is going to be your dirt roads. Everything else on here is going to be either a legal trail or a class 4 road. So I think this is that Brocklebank Quarry Road right here, right? This is that Quarry Road. So and I'll send these links out. So using a combination of kind of this, the Strava heat map, the other way of doing it is, and this is the pain in the ass with Strava, is you can go in, and again, I really want to like this. Get out of here. How do I get this away from my, there we go. Create a route. Come on. You want me to sign in too?
It's a big map mashup.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Apple Watch. You know what it is? It's this guy's got to get out of here. Get over here. Create a route. As I said, Strava's got some really cool stuff here, and I'm going to go right up to that area and do this. Royalton. And it's funny, this map is way better. Like, I don't know why the heat map, they've botched it, but I'm just going to do a couple clicks to start the route. And what's really cool, they got this, I don't know if you guys can see this surface type. Can I pin this someplace else? How do I pin this somewhere?
Paul, it's visible at the bottom. It's fine.
Huh?
It's visible at the bottom.
Oh, you
It's
can
fine.
see the surface type?
Yep, surface
Yep.
type.
Okay.
Yep, we see that.
Yeah. So yeah, they give you the different surface types, and then
Ah.
you go, the heat map is on actually. So these, despite the fact that this isn't a road, and it will pick it up as far as it knows. It's almost like kind of similar to, it's picking this,
OSM?
yeah. So it's picking this right up. It's actually, I'm sorry, that was County Road. That's why I picked it up. Let me go pick that up as a dirt road. That's the one I wanted to come back on, but so it knows it's a road. It's a road, and I click here and it's stopped. Okay, so that's exactly where the OSM map stops. But the beauty of this is you can take now, and I'll do a lot of time in here. Where's
It's use manual mode up to.
There you go. Yep, thank you. Continue. Boom. Now you know you're gonna be like, you're gonna be right on this thing. The problem with this is like you could do this, and what I would do now is I'll save this and Brock and enter. And then you can export this GPX, and then you can go to jump to uploads. So we don't want to save that right now. So you can have this file now inside of RideWithGPS to play with. The problem is if you build you can't do anything with a route in building it from Strava, like correcting stuff, and I wouldn't want to build a whole route in there
Because you don't have the control points, right?
Exactly.
So you have a historical path, which is essentially what you just created. But this historical path also includes those 4 control points you dropped in Strava, right?
I don't know. I'm just kind of getting around to looking at this, but again, it's another tool that, I would consider, if this was long enough, something like this, calling this a route. And
Yeah.
when I got to this point on my ride, I just turn my Garmin, turn course off, and turn this one on for 15 minutes. I would consider doing that. Maybe, and Brandon, you may be better at this, like this thing with combining routes and stuff like that in RideWithGPS.
Yeah, we can do that later. But the one thing I'll point out is when you do import the file, you'll notice there's no control points. You have a start and you have an end.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Like all those dots and lines and things he drew, I'm pretty sure those don't appear. You just get a start and an end.
So that does look like a historical ride in the sense that it's just.
Yeah, it basically just says, here's your start point, here's your end point, and we know exactly where the line went, so we'll draw the line. But as soon as you try and do something else, like if you drag that end point somewhere, it's going to lose the whole route. Because it now has no idea that you had all these other control points there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to make this a useful segment to add it in, if you're trying to, piece together 3 of these or historical rides, is there a way to do that in Map with GPS? I get the solution where it's like part 1 of 3, part 2 of 3 kind of thing.
Yes,
right?
I can show you how to do that if Paul doesn't.
Yeah, I'll turn that one over to Brandon.
We'll get there later. I will do some extra questions at the end. I don't want to interrupt what Paul's doing. So let Paul finish and then I'll jump in and I'll keep a mental list of what we want to talk about.
Thanks. Yeah. So again, in general, I would probably go to the heat map and trust it and try to kind of just zoom in enough to build it within RideWithGPS, kind of tabbing back and forth between Strava heat map and this. And, part of the adventure sometimes is not being exact, but most of these woods roads they're pretty well, defined. You might get some forks and things. You'll go down a wrong one and, you might get a little bit lost, but, doing this and maybe the way Brandon's going to show us how to combine things might be, a decent alternative. Let's see. Let's see what other things that I have in here.